Under the hard midday light of Quantico's training grounds, the air shimmered over the ranks of cadets standing at parade rest, their starched uniforms immaculate, their chatter a low hum of arrogance and curiosity as the convoy of black SUVs pulled up beside the review platform. From the second vehicle stepped a woman in standard army dress uniform. Clean lines, no medals, no visible insignia of high command. Her hair was tied tight, her expression calm, almost unreadable. Some thought she looked too young, others too composed for a new arrival. The instructors said nothing, watching her with a peculiar restraint that only added to the confusion of the recruits. Another transfer, someone whispered. Probably flunked somewhere else. But the murmurs faded when the senior drill instructor barked. Company, eyes front. The stranger walked down the line, her boots crisp against the concrete. Cadet Morales, one of the loudest, muttered under his breath. Look at her, acting like she owns the place. She stopped beside him. For one fleeting second, their eyes met, haze sharp, assessing, but not unkind. Then she moved on. The air felt heavier after she passed, as though everyone sensed something they couldn't explain. The next morning, the new officer, identified only as Captain Hall, was assigned to oversee squad tactical evaluations. Her orders were simple: observe and report. The recruits, thinking her just another pen pusher, took her silence as weakness. They snickered when she sat cross-legged on the bleachers, watching them stumble through an obstacle course she'd once designed herself. You taking notes? Morales called out with a grin, mud streaking his face. Want me to slow down so you can keep up? Laughter rippled through the field, but she didn't flinch. Carry on, cadet, she said softly. There was something in her tone that stilled even the wind, a quiet authority that didn't need to shout. When one cadet twisted his ankle and fell, she was the first there, kneeling beside him before the medics arrived, her movements efficient, precise. For the first time, the others saw discipline that wasn't forced, it was instinct. But the moment passed, buried beneath more rumor. She's just trying to look tough. Probably never saw a real up. Desk soldier. They didn't know that her last mission report was still classified, her codename buried beneath black ink, Iron Wolf. 2 nights later, a live simulation drill began, a midnight combat exercise through the ravine perimeter. It was supposed to be a routine run, but a misfire triggered a smoke grenade near the barracks, sending chaos through the ranks. Hall arrived within seconds, ordering perimeter lockdown and directing teams with surgical precision. The recruits hesitated, unsure who'd given her authority. Captain, you're not on active ops roster, a lieutenant protested. Neither are you, she replied evenly, already rerouting communications. The smoke cleared, revealing a trainee trapped under a collapsed fence. Hall dropped to her knees, cut through the mesh with her bare hands, and hauled the cadet free before the medics even arrived. Cameras on the training field captured the moment. A woman moving like she'd done it 100 times before, eyes cold but calm, voice steady amid chaos. When the base commander reviewed the footage the next morning, he recognized the stance instantly. That's Iron Wolf, he murmured. But that's impossible, she retired. By noon, whispers had turned to speculation. In the mess hall, Morales and his friends laughed nervously. Iron Wolf. Please, you mean that ghost story about the op in Kandahar? She'd have to be 50. She's 35, tops, another replied. And alive, which means that story's fake. They didn't know that the Kandahar operation, the one where an entire Marine unit was surrounded and extracted by a single forward officer, was real, nor that the mission leader had vanished afterward under classified reassignment. That afternoon, when Hall entered the dining hall, the laughter cut off mid-sentence. The commander himself walked beside her. Captain Hall, he said in front of everyone, your presence has been requested by the Marine Corps liaison. The room went silent. Every cadet turned as she saluted and followed the officer outside, her posture unshaken. Morales whispered, "What the hell is going on?" Outside, 3 Marines stood in full dress blues near the flagpole, the tallest among them a scarred major with a silver bar glinting under the sun. When he saw her, he froze, then snapped to attention. Iron Wolf, he said loudly. permission to speak freely. Every head on the parade ground turned. The commander frowned. "Major, this is Captain Hall." "No, sir." The Marine interrupted, his voice trembling. "This is Iron Wolf. She pulled my men out of the canyon. 7 of us made it because of her." Gasps rippled across the field. The commander's jaw tightened. "At ease," Hall said quietly, but the major refused. "They told us you were dead. That the op was wiped." She shook her head. "No, Major, just erased." The silence that followed was heavy, broken only by the wind snapping the flags overhead. When the commander finally spoke, his tone had shifted. "Captain Hall, I believe some explanations are in order." She nodded once. "With respect, sir, they're above your clearance." The Marine major smiled faintly. "Still the same." Then he turned to the stunned cadets. "You kids think war is about speed, medals, and noise. This woman once walked into a minefield alone because her team was pinned. She mapped it by touch. She is Iron Wolf." Morales swallowed hard, his earlier bravado gone. Hall met his eyes for the second time that week. "Discipline isn't built on pride, Cadet," she said softly. "It's built on silence, when no one's watching." The commander stepped forward and saluted her, a crisp, deliberate motion seen by every soul on that field. He said simply, "Welcome home." Over the next days, the base atmosphere changed entirely. The recruits who had mocked her now lined up early for drills, their voices low, their movements sharp. Hall didn't scold them. She trained them harder. "You want to wear that uniform," she told them during a brutal dawn exercise. "Then earn it every single day. Respect isn't given, it's proven." Her past remained sealed in official files, but stories leaked through the ranks. How she'd been hit twice by shrapnel and refused evacuation. How she commanded through a blackout when comms died. How her unit, Operation Red Canyon, had been saved by a single flare she'd fired into the darkness to call air support. When one recruit asked quietly why she'd disappeared, she answered only, "Because some wars end on paper, not in hearts." One afternoon, Morales found her alone in the training hangar, cleaning her side-down. He hesitated, then blurted, "I was wrong. I shouldn't have." She didn't let him finish. "You were doing what most people do," she said gently, "judging by what they see." He looked down. "It won't happen again." She smiled faintly. "Good, because next time, you'll be the one they judge." He nodded, the words cutting deeper than any punishment could. The final scene came a week later, during a full formation inspection. The commander announced a special commendation for exemplary service rendered under conditions still classified under national security protocols. The entire company stood silent as he called her forward. Hall stepped out, her posture steady, eyes straight ahead. "Captain Hall," the commander said, "we are honored by your service." Or should I say, Iron Wolf. The nickname echoed across the field like thunder. The Marines saluted first, then the cadets, every one of them. Even Morales, eyes wet, stood straighter than he ever had. She returned the salute once, firmly. "At ease," she said quietly. "Remember, every hero starts as a cadet." When she turned to leave, the camera crews waiting at the gate lowered their lenses. She didn't give interviews, didn't pose for photos. She simply walked away toward the setting sun, her shadow stretching long across the concrete, the echo of boots fading into silence. Behind her, the recruits whispered her name, not out of rumor this time, but out of reverence. Iron Wolf. She never corrected them. She didn't need to. Her legacy wasn't in the medals or headlines, but in the discipline she'd left behind, in the young men and women who now carried themselves a little taller, spoke with more respect, and learned that true power didn't come from rank or noise, but from quiet strength. That evening, Morales wrote a single line in his journal. "We thought she was a cadet. She was a storm that trained us." And somewhere far away, under a classified designation, the name Iron Wolf flickered back to active status for a new mission, one that no one would hear about until history demanded it.